You are on mute.
Let the dust of the day settle and enter in the space very gently. Be in this moment, here and now. And gently you can open your eyes. So, once again, a warm welcome. And it's so lovely to see everybody on camera. And those who are not on camera, I'm sure everybody would like to see you. And it's good to be on camera because when we are totally present and when we see each other, it helps us build a connection. And when we are in this sacred gathering, so I'm sure we have not done something that we don't want to show our faces. So, with this beautiful topic, once again, we are meeting and the science of letting go. The science of letting go and why surrender works. When I think about letting go, when I think about surrender, there are few questions which I would like to throw for all of us so that we can find out together and we can have an inquiry. So, the very first question which comes to my mind is what is that I'm holding on? And when we raise the questions, when we inquire, don't pressurize yourself too much. Just let the answer emerge on its own, and it's okay if you do not get any answer. That's also perfectly okay. The question is more important, not the answer. So, what is that I'm holding on? And just let these questions settle into yourself. And another question is, am I attached to something? Am I attached to something? Do I observe my attachments without judging them? Is holding on creating suffering? And what does surrender mean in my direct experience? What does surrender mean in my direct experience? So, with these questions, let us go deeper. The tendency of mind is such that mind clings to any object, whatever we see, whatever we think. The tendency of mind is to cling to any object because the mind is afraid. It could be of anything. Sometimes it's unknown as well. So, letting go not only from the mind. Sometimes people say, just let go, just let go. It should not be only from the mind, rather in action. Because When letting go comes in the action, that's freedom. And when we talk about surrender, people say only weak people surrender. You're not courageous enough. You are very weak. Be strong. Be bold. Don't surrender. So, surrender is not weakness. Surrender comes with intelligence. And those who have experienced the power of surrender, they have experienced the real intelligence. And don't consider this intelligence the intelligence we call, because that intelligence, what we call, is connected to the mind. This intelligence is totally beyond mind. And unless ego drops, one cannot be fully in surrender because the ego is the barrier. Ego is the wall which we have created around us, and that wall doesn't allow anything to enter. And what we hold, whether it is power, money, position, relationships, even when sometimes you're angry with someone, that thought of anger, which creates disturbance. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि किसी ने मुझे दुख दिया, उसने मुझे 10 साल पहले कुछ कहा था, उसने 20 साल पहले कुछ कहा था, वक्त आने पे मैं बदला लूंगा इसका। बहुत सारे विचार ऐसे चलते हैं मन में। मैं भी कभी जब मेरे हाथ में पावर आएगी तब मैं बताऊंगा। व्हेन यू आर इन नॉट दैट इन पोजिशन एंड यू हैव दैट ग्रज, और वो ग्रज पाइल अप होता रहता है। लगता है कि काश हमारे पास भी ऐसी पोजीशन होती, पावर होता, तो हम बताते उसको। कमजोर ऐसा सोचता है, जिनके पास पावर है वो सोचते हैं कि हम मालिक हैं, हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। तो एक जो एक विचार है इसका, एक गुस्से का हो या एक पावर का हो, पोजीशन का हो, तो इससे एक डिस्टरबेंस पैदा होती है मन में, एंड दैट बिकम्स आवर प्रिजन। वो कैद कर देती है हमें। हमें किसी जेल में रखने की या ताला लगाने की या किसी पुलिस वाले की जरूरत नहीं है। हमारे विचारों से, हमारे जो एक्शंस हैं, इनएप्रोप्रिएट एक्शंस, वो हमें लिबरेशन से दूर करते हैं। और उन्होंने चारों तरफ एक ऐसी प्रिजन बनाई हुई है जो अलाउ नहीं करते हमें उस प्रिजन से बाहर आने के लिए। एंड देन वी से आई वांट टू गेट रिड ऑफ दिस थिंग, हाउ कैन आई गेट रिड ऑफ दिस थिंग, एंड डीप डाउन वी नो दैट दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम, ये बैरियर है। बट वी डोंट वांट टू सी द रियलिटी। And why we don't want to see the reality? Because we have forgotten ourselves. And that's why we are not relaxed. कहीं ना कहीं एक असहजता है, सहज नहीं हो पाते। अब देखिए, घर में आप होते हैं तो एक्शन डिफरेंट होता है, दोस्तों के बीच होते हैं तो एक डिफरेंट एक्शन होता है, किसी नए व्यक्ति से मिलते हैं तो कुछ डिफरेंट होते हैं आप। तो आप कौन हैं जब परिवार में हैं, लोगों के साथ, when you're having your gala time with your family? Is that your real nature? Or when you are with your friends, very close friends, in a very intimate gathering, क्या वो जो व्यवहार है वो आपका व्यवहार है? या फिर जब किसी एक अननोन से मिलते हैं, एंड व्हेन यू वांट टू इम्प्रेस दैट पर्सन, कुछ भी करके वो सामने वाला एक इम्प्रेस हो जाए, कुछ कुछ ऐसा मैं कर लूं कि सामने वाला बस कंट्रोल में आ जाए मेरे, तो वो जो एक एक्शन है, क्या वो आप हैं? तो ये एक चिंतन का विषय है। वी मस्ट थिंक अबाउट दिस, व्हाट इज माय रियल नेचर, एंड इफ नॉट दिस देन व्हाट? and why I have forgotten my real nature. And that is the reason we are not relaxed. But those who have learned the art of relaxation, existence टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग, बहुत बार होता है कि कुछ लोगों से हम मिलते हैं जिन्होंने इस आर्ट को मास्टर किया हुआ है, दे आर टोटली एट ईज, रिलैक्स है। वो व्यवहार में रिलैक्स होना नहीं, कि जब किसी से आप बात करें तो बोले कि हाँ हम तो रिलैक्स्ड है। मैं जब स्कूल में था तो बोर्ड एग्जाम्स होते थे, तो साथ के कुछ थे शरारती मित्रगण जो पढ़ाई नहीं करते थे, और उनसे जब कोई फर्स्ट और सेकंड पोजीशन पे आने वाला उनसे पूछता था कि कैसे हो, तो वो कहते थे रिलैक्स है, लेकिन बड़ी एंजाइटी होती थी उनको। तो कहीं ऐसी वाली एंजाइटी तो नहीं है कि कह तो रहे हैं कि रिलैक्स है, लेकिन है नहीं, क्योंकि उसकी भी एक आर्ट है। व्हेन यू आर टोटली एट ईज, व्हेन यू आर टोटली रिलैक्स्ड, कोई एक है जिसको डिवाइन फोर्स बोले, कुछ पावर बोले, जो भी बोले, वो चलाती है फिर। देन यू बिकम एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, आप इंस्ट्रूमेंट बन जाते हैं। जैसे एक मोबाइल फोन है, जब कंट्री चेंज करते हैं तो मोबाइल फोन तो नहीं चेंज करते, यू माइट चेंज अ सिम कार्ड। आजकल तो वो भी सुविधा नहीं है, सब इजी हो गया है। एक फॉरेक्स कार्ड बनवा लो तो पूरे विश्व में भ्रमण कर सकते हैं। ये सुविधाएं हैं। तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो है वो नहीं बदलता, इंस्ट्रूमेंट वही रहता है। जो एक फोर्स है, जो उसको चलाने वाली फोर्स है, वो क्या है, दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। एंड देन दोज हु हैव मास्टर्ड, दे हैव लर्न दिस थिंग, झगड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए, देयर हैज टू बी एन एंड टू द फाइट। क्योंकि जब बहाव है तो उस बहाव में बहना और तैरना दोनों में फर्क है। फ्लोटिंग इज ऑलवेज इजी, दोज हु नो हाउ टू स्विम, they know floating is easy, but when you swim, then you say I am swimming. So there is a doership in that. And when you float, then there is a force which is taking care of you. तो इन विषयों पर आज हम लोग कुछ चर्चा करेंगे। सो let us take a moment and think, let us close our eyes, take a moment and think, what am I holding on? What is something which is creating disturbance in me? क्या है ऐसा जो मैंने अपने मन में पकड़ा हुआ है, जिससे मुक्त नहीं हो पा रहे हैं? और am I too attached to something, or do I observe my attachments without judging them or not? Is holding on creating suffering? And what does surrender mean in my direct experience? Just think through, and you may write in the comment section whatever comes to you. I am attached to my mother's concern for me. I'm holding on my desires, expectation from self, and sometimes with others. Holding attachments with close ones. I'm attached to my family. What am I holding on to is a sense of self. I'm attached to my work and expertise. Surrender means letting go of the thought that I'm the doer and allowing yourself to be led by a higher consciousness. The ego becomes fearful sometimes. I'm attached to my family. Surrender to me means taking leap of faith in the name of God. When things don't go our way, our logical way, we must accept what comes our way through surrender. I attach with my wife and son. I'm sure your wife must be seeing this. अगर आप ऐसा नहीं लिखते तो शायद वो गुस्सा हो जाती. So I think it's good. Close friends and relatives' behavior towards me. Surrendering means leaving everything to highest power to take care of everything. मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन ज्यादा हैं तो उनसे बनती नहीं है फिर कहा सुनी हो जाती है वही बातें माइंड में घूमती हैं. I'm attached to my comfort zone. Oh, I think it's a good attachment to have. Many people have this kind of attachment. ये भी एक सुंदर अटैचमेंट तो है ये भी कि कंफर्ट जोन है. गर्मी का समय है, एसी रूम में बैठे हैं एक, उसमें भी एक रस आता है, एक अटैचमेंट है. सर्दी है, हीटर लगा है. And when you are enjoying your life and everything is good, you become attached. Workplace politics and rude behavior of junior. Oh, yeah, that's also true. Office politics, rude behavior, when you are in such position, you become attached with this. And this is very popular in corporate culture. What am I holding on to? Holding on to my false sense of self. Maybe that's called ego. The ego is not of the form that I'm better than anyone, but that my way of living and thought is sattvic, better. Surrender means old memories should not have bad feelings today. Holding on to past attachments to family, high expectations from family members, not letting go of past conversations, attachments to my granddaughters. Worried about my son, who's a special child. All right. Now the question is, you may like to write this. Do I observe my attachments without judging them? Let's take a moment and write. Until the time, let me read the other comments. I'm holding on to my children's bright future as per my limited experience, but we as parents give suggestions and suggestions get crossed many times. We wish that our children should not go through the same difficulties that we did. I'm holding on to anger, failure, false expectations, relationship attached to relationships, love and care. Surrender means no expectations, but sad to be lonely and not happy. For me, surrender means I know that the higher dealing is always guiding me and you am acting as a medium. Surrender to me, leave negativity. Do I observe my attachment without judging them? Yeah, now is the question. Attached to my own expectations, in control of my own attachments, holding on to anguish over loved one's illness, my obligations, helplessness of how prepared to take leave. I'm very judgmental of my attachment. Hmm. So many times we judge our attachments, but we don't acknowledge. And we simply say, do self love practice, I do this practice, I do that practice, I give pat on my back, and this and that. But Since we have not carefully observed, we do not know whether we judge or not. Unable to control my emotion, get angry very quickly, though I was a very cool person. And the important thing to ask yourself is, how do you feel when you become judgmental about you? Don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel pain? Or sometimes you dislike yourself? And that feeling is not appropriate. That gives you pain. Yes, I'm attached to my family, but I'm judgmental sometimes. Yes, I do judge my attachments at the same time, and I don't at times. A feeling of not being enough. Yeah, you sometimes feel I'm not enough. I should be that. I'm not doing my duties properly. And that takes you in a very different mode. Yes, I observe my attachments without judgment and I find them skewed, but we are human beings and this comes natural. Okay, Diksha, I'm unmuting you. Would like to hear from you now. One sec, you are on mute. Let me put, yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Uh, Today's topic is very difficult to me. When I read this, I think this is the most difficult thing that I face in my life. And I would say that as a human being, I am least attached. As much I've observed, am I too attached to my children, my husband, my parents, my brothers, my family? No, I'm not. But despite that, I can't let things go easily. So what am I attached to? Am I attached to materialistic things and comfort zone? And as a couple of people mentioned, no, I'm not attached to that also because I have usually been addicted to hard work and I love working hard. Though I would say that I love working hard sitting in an AC room. And but despite everything, there is something, there is some unknown force that does not let go of things and relationships through me, because at the end of the day I realize that it is part and parcel of our life. The responsibilities that we have taken on our shoulders should be well taken care of at any juncture of life. If you're a mother, then yes, you should be working towards being a good mother. If you have taken responsibilities of being a wife, then yes, you should be doing things. So all those things, that yes, I am responsible and I have taken these
And
responsibilities.
and why and why I'm interrupting you in between? And why do you think that this is your responsibility? That I should do this, I should do this.
Because I'll tell you why. Some people who know me well, they know that I'm keenly interested in astrology. And when I read my chart and my husband's chart or my children's chart, also I read, deeply, I realize that I'm quite a mature soul. And I'm on this earth to be more responsible than anybody who is around me.
Hmm.
uh, in terms of financial responsibility and everything, I see my husband taking charge of it very well and very courageously. However, finances are resources, and I can, we can name so many families where finances are being rained upon, but families are broken or families are not able to hold on to each other and things like that. Except finances, everything else in my family, I take care of everything. Regulating emotions, whosoever is feeling bad, sad, angry, all the emotions come to me. I mean, just before I logged on to this satsang, I was on a video call with my daughter. So
Hmm.
every day she would call me up 3 4 times, video call. Sometimes she would say a lot of things, and sometimes it's just that she's there and I'm there, and she's working on her laptop and I'm working on my laptop doing something or the other. So all the regulation of emotions and uh, putting resources to the best use is my responsibility, but arranging resources has been more or less been my husband's responsibility.
Great.
So I think this is the way it is, and the
Mm-hmm.
way things are going. I mean, I won't say that we're completely happy and enthralled and very happy about it. I also wish that I wish I were the vice president of a company. I could not be, and I had to, move to freelancing. And the way, I have some time, I dedicate that time to work and take care of the family most of the time, because there's a lot that goes on in my family. Like my husband travels the entire Europe. My daughter is in UK now, and my son also in last 3 months went to two countries to represent, his school. And so somebody has to be there who's
And I
taking.
and I remember in the last satsang you said I'm in Sweden and I want to come to India. Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll come back to you since we have very less time left.
Yeah, sure,
So we'll come back to you.
sure.
Okay, so who else would like to speak? Let's make it crisp. If possible, you can complete your thing in 40 to 50 seconds. You may raise your hand and we'll unmute you. And till then, let me read the comments. I'm attached to being proactive and doing certain things in a planned way. When that doesn't happen, it throws me off balance and a loss of sense control. Okay. Yes, Mridula, you're on unmute.
Yeah, thank you for these questions because initially when you asked these questions, I just couldn't actually think of what is holding on. And but again, after diving deeper into it, what I eventually realized, and I've written multiple answers here, I realized that I'm attached to certain beliefs, and that happens at a very subconscious level. That's why you can't address it. Certain beliefs, it is so subtle that for instance, reaching a meeting on time and doing things ahead of time, planning ahead. I was not always like that, but I realized that this is what being planned has made me successful and has led to less confusion, less concern, less palpitations. So that became my very hardcore belief that I must do things ahead of time. And when that doesn't happen, when you're thrown things at the last minute, then that throws me off because that makes me feel like, okay, now I've got no control. I don't know whether I'll be able to do it or not. And the fear of doing a bad job gets to you. So I think there is also attachment now as I'm talking to you. I realize a sense of perfectionist, although I understand there is no such thing as perfection.
Yeah, I totally understand. When you put a lot of efforts, you want everything to be perfect. Uh, I've seen many housemakers, those who want their kitchen to be perfect, their clothes to be perfect, and many, many things. And when things are not perfect, then we feel कुछ रह गया है, कुछ हो नहीं पाया है. Right. Okay, who's next? Anyone would like to speak, you may raise your hand. Till then, let me read the comments. I'm holding on to my obligations attached to my beliefs. Surrender means no questions on the way life flows, no complaint, no sorrow. Great. Felt as a failure when couldn't do my work according to people's expectation. Time, age, all affect the attachment. Yes, definitely I do most of the time as I stop myself saying or thinking about things and say to myself, hold in, where are going with this? I'm attached to certain beliefs that have led me to success. Meant hold on, used to be holding on to, need to fight. When someone questioned my choices, need to prove that the way of life is good for others also became preachy. Yes, I do judge myself that I can be better, I am not good enough. For the life that I imagine, I'm attached to my sense of righteousness. So, surrender means learning to detach myself from my own expectations, believe in the plans of superpower, but really difficult to learn detachment. Okay, Neha wants to speak. Let me unmute you, Neha. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so sometimes I feel, you know, in myself I feel I'm complete, I'm completely surrendered, but sometimes it happens that there is comparison, and then something puts you into competition, and then the feeling of, then again you want to take back the control, thinking, oh, just surrendering is not helping. You also have to put in some effort, and probably the amount of effort that you've put in, it only after that you can surrender. So sometimes that confusion, that am
Hmm.
I really putting myself in a comfort zone, or am I truly surrendering with all my efforts done? I think there sometimes
That willpower.
comes in.
I think that willpower and that with that conviction, when you tell yourself, then that makes totally a different sense.
Yeah,
Because many times we just say superficially that I want to surrender, but we don't feel it.
sometimes even the surrender happens and you're flowing and you're fine, and then something outside then again shakes you up and puts
Hmm.
you to a point where it says, oh, you're not doing enough. You're probably now in your comfort zone as you say that you're surrendering. So then there's this confusion. Is it really surrender, or am I pushing myself into a comfort zone? So again, that confusion
Hmm.
comes in.
Great. So very nice perspective. Thank you, Neha. Anyone else would like to speak for 30-40 seconds? You may raise your hand. Okay, Jajjeet, 1 second. Yes, Jajjeet, please go ahead.
And thank you so much. So sometimes when we talk about surrendering, at times it is it is made to believe that surrender is a sign of weakness. I'm talking about relationships. So if there are hiccups, challenges, hard feelings, and if one wants to surrender, maybe the opposite person or the person at the opposite end may may communicate that, see, this person was at fault, and maybe allegations, accusations, and false naming and everything. So that gives us a sense of self doubt, that I'm surrendering because this is my belief that if I surrender, I will gain peace of mind and internal happiness. But when we get to hear that the other person is thinking otherwise, that aggregates a lot of frustration, anger, pain, and of course distrust. And then we change our original self. The idea of surrendering is defeated, and then we come to the battlefield and again start fighting. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, yes, Garima.
Hello, namaste, and pranam everyone. I suddenly got a thought here that the kind of things that I judge, I realized also sometimes, when I'm over something else, a part of life, and then I see others doing the same mistake, and I feel, oh my God. For example, if I'm watching a sun and enjoying the nature, and there is nice birds and nature and sky, and somebody is actually very stressed out about their, oh, I have to get to the office at this time, I have to do this, and I'm like, oh my God, just relax, relax. And so maybe I'm judging them, but I have been on that side, so I feel, oh, that's not so important, why don't you. So but that is my sense of judgment. They will take their own
But
time.
but a question to you: are you relaxed in this moment?
No, when imagine that.
You no need to answer. Just a question. Sometimes a question only, no answer.
Yeah, no, in general, I'm relaxed only. It's just that when I'm expressing it, then I'm expressing it with some excitement. So,
Great, great. Okay, Ranjan Patel, please unmute.
I just wanted to ask a question. Would you say, 1 second.
Your voice is bouncing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
got
now
two
it's fine.
things coming.
Yes,
One
yes.
second. Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
Maybe your another device is
Yeah, I think
near this phone.
let me just shut the phone.
Just lower the volume of the other device and just keep going
Yeah,
on.
correct. I just wanted to ask you, would you say
Now we can't see you.
surrendering? Can you see it now? Can you see now?
Now your camera is off.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you are from Fire Tablet. Okay.
Fire tablet.
Yeah, fire tablet.
Oh, you're ghosting from your name and appearing from another. Okay. Come.
Oh, God.
Yes. Go
I've
ahead.
lost you now. I've lost you.
No problem. Go ahead.
But basically, I was saying, would you say that when you don't respond, when a situation arises and you don't say anything, and you just shrug your shoulder and say to yourself, whatever, does that mean you're surrendering or what? How would you describe that?
It depends on the intent. Do you just say I don't care, or do
Uh,
you say that I don't mind? It's okay. It depends on the intent. It
yeah, it
depends
depends
on
on
the.
the.
It totally depends on your intent. When
Okay,
you operate from that intent, that it's okay, whatever has happened, it's
okay,
okay. So it
okay.
has a totally different meaning. And when
Okay.
you say I don't care,
Mm,
you know, with the
okay.
dancing
Because
shoulders, when you say I
sometimes,
don't care, so it has a
sometimes
totally different meaning.
it depends on what conversation we have.
And also with whom you are sitting and the mood,
Yeah, that's true.
because we are controlled by our mood, our thoughts, our the emotions, and moreover the ambience around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, when
So
thinking,
next time when you repeat this gesture, just
yeah,
observe yourself. How's
okay.
my intent? And
All right.
when I'm saying this, what kind of feelings are arising in me when I
Okay.
use such words? And next
Okay.
time we will discuss.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So surrender is not giving up. It is the courage to trust life. When we trust life, then life trusts us.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you stop resisting, because we have this thing now, we want to resist. किसी ने भी कुछ कहा तो एक रेजिस्टेंस आती है, और वो रेजिस्टेंस आती है ईगो से, मुझे नहीं करना ये. Without understanding the pros and cons, we simply reject. We totally become the minority party in the opposition in the parliament. We behave in such a way that we don't want this bill. सेम जब जीएसटी कांग्रेस की सरकार में था, तो उसका पर्सपेक्टिव टोटली डिफरेंट था, विरोधी पार्टी उसको मना करती थी. लेकिन जब सेम जीएसटी दूसरी सरकार में आया तो उसको हाँ कर लिया. तो ये कहीं ऐसा चेंज तो नहीं हो रहा, सिचुएशन बेस्ड तो नहीं हो रहा. Am I living a life situation on the basis of situationship or relationship? So that we have to be very clear. So to let go does not mean to lose. It means to gain yourself, to gain your strength and your total being. And most of the times we are totally living our life in misery. Why? Because we do not watch our actions, we do not observe. So next time, watch your thoughts like you do stargazing at night. Watch the clouds and do not follow them. Do not push them away. Never try to push them away. Just watch. And in that watchfulness, meditation will happen. Because when you're not doing anything and simply watching, that is meditation. Being alert, totally silent, and totally aware. And from that meditation comes freedom and authenticity. Because when you're not doing anything, you're not even judgmental, you're free. And in that moment, you are very authentic. So freedom comes the moment you stop trying to be something else. बहुत बार अपनी फीलिंग्स को भी हम रिजेक्ट कर देते हैं, एक्नॉलेज नहीं करते. So that's why I'm I'm sharing all these perspectives because what I've gone through in my life, what I've learned, I'm just sharing my perspective because authenticity is the real path and society is the distraction. Always remember this. Never follow the society. Always follow the authenticity which arises from your own being. Because someone is saying this, because my friend is saying this, my father is saying this, my mother is saying this, don't listen to anybody. You will never find such kind of a satsang in the whole world. Only mad people come in these satsang and only mad people speak. Because those who have experienced the truth, they become mad. Not really mad. The society will say you are mad. Because you are following your own heart, you become mad. And that is the true nature of a rebellion, to follow your own truth. You need not to follow anything. And the moment you try to become something, you try to follow something, and you follow someone's advice, you're not authentic. That authenticity should be the true nature of your spirit. And only the present moment is your only home. When you are here in this moment, nowhere, just here, then nothing can harm you. And in that moment, love arises. You don't need to seek love. It is the overflow of your aliveness. When you are totally alive, then love overflows. And you don't need to acquire happiness. It is not a land which a mafia would acquire. You don't need to acquire that land. You don't need to acquire the happiness. In dropping, in releasing, in letting, life happens. And mind is very clever. Just remember this. Don't listen to your mind. And that's why meditation is a very, very rebellious act because it is against your mind. And I've seen many people, those who are very fearful of meditation. They don't want to meditation, they don't want to meditate because they say, what will happen to my mind? Because to enter into that space of no mind, you just connect with a healer, you just talk to a sound healer, Neha is here. You know, आप जब किसी की हीलिंग भी करते हैं, आप किसी को मेडिटेशन करवा रहे हैं, कुछ भी कोई भी एक्टिविटी ऐसी कर रहे हैं जहां पे यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू दैट प्योर स्पेस, सेक्रेट स्पेस, यू हैव टू बी रिसेप्टिव, यू हैव टू ड्रॉप योर माइंड. वो सब माइंड अगर लेके जाएंगे तो फिर वो जो बता रहा है, वो जो करवा रहा है, वो बेचारा क्या करेगा? वो हाथ जोड़ लेगा फिर आपके आगे. You have to enter into that space. And that can only happen in the moment of silence. Because ego wants to control. That's why mind wants to control. Mind is equals to ego. And the absence of mind is meditation. Surrender is the only revolution against ego. And that's why mind does not allow you to meditate. Because in meditation, you have to be in a surrender. Naturally, that's the state. कोई पूछ रहा था कि ध्यान क्या है, कोई पूछ रहा था कि क्या होता है ध्यान करने से, मेडिटेशन करने से क्या होता है. तो एक स्थिति होती है प्रार्थना की, जहां पे एक भक्त बैठा है, एक डिसाइपल बैठा है, एक इंडिविजुअल बैठा है, एक स्पिरिट बैठी है आंखें बंद करके, नॉट आस्किंग एनीथिंग, जस्ट सिंपली सिटिंग एंड सेंडिंग सिग्नल्स to the universe, to the beloved, or whatever you call it. But in samadhi, in the ecstasy, in the transcendental state of meditation, when you sit, that divinity, that beloved, that universe, or whatever you call it, omnipresent, omniscient, luminous body, that sends you the signal. So the communication from here to there, from known to unknown, the journey is from known to unknown. This is what you touch, what you can feel. This is known. What you cannot touch, but it is there, is unknown. So the journey is from known to unknown. So with this, let's do some meditation. I think too much intellectual discussions are very important, but meditation is also important to absorb all these discussions. Because to understand all these discussions, you have to use your mind. So today, don't use mind. Just let the conversation happens. And whatever comes, let it come. Now simply close your eyes. Take a moment. Inhale and exhale. And just absorb whatever discussions, whatever contemplation, inquiry, reflections we have done. Breathe in with a smile and breathe out with a smile. पूरी गहरी सांस अंदर, गहरी सांस बाहर. धीरे धीरे श्वास अंदर एक मुस्कुराहट के साथ. जो भी कुछ ऐसा है जो लेट गो नहीं कर पा रहे इस मोमेंट में, इस क्षण में, जस्ट ड्रॉप एवरीथिंग, सब छोड़ देंगे एंड जस्ट बी व्हाट यू आर. लेट इट बी. Just sit with yourself totally in silence without asking anything in return, without any expectation, nowhere to go, already at the best place where your soul should be. And bring a gentle smile on your face. Inhale and exhale. Rub your both the palms. Put it on your face. Feel the warmth, feel the energy. And with smiling face, gently open your eyes. And share this smile with everyone. Just watch everyone on the screen. You know, when I conduct sessions, when I give lectures in my college, so there are many students who do not smile. So then I tell girls and boys कि भाई जो दूसरों को देख के स्माइल नहीं कर रहा, जरा वहां पे जाके उसको थोड़ा स्माइल कर दो दे. Then the whole corridor is full of laughter because laughter, smile is very contagious. And only this thing can transform the humanity. World does not need long faces and very sad gurus. The world needs laughing Buddhas. So, is it possible to be a laughing Buddha? All right. In the last session, I thought that few of my friends would get benefit out of this, and I invited few of them today. So if you feel, so think about someone, 2, 3 people in your mind. If you feel that these discussions can really help someone, why don't we give them benefit? Let everyone feel joy and happy. Sharing is caring. All right. So with this, let's end our today's session. And whatever comes in your mind, whatever you feel like sharing, we are opening the group, and you all are in that WhatsApp group. You may like to share your today's reflection, because when we write, there is a Harvard research. जब तक हार्वर्ड का और स्टैनफोर्ड का रिसर्च नहीं आता, हम उस बात को मानते नहीं है. तो रिसर्च भी मैं बता देता हूँ जब मैं सेशन देता हूँ, तो आज भी बता देता हूँ. सो देयर इज अ रिसर्च. जब हम कुछ लिखते हैं तो उसको हम एब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं, उसको इंटरनलाइज कर लेते हैं, मेमोराइज कर लेते हैं. क्योंकि एंशंट जो हमारा ज्ञान है वो तो चला ही गया है, तो अब हार्वर्ड और स्टैनफोर्ड के सहारे हैं हम लोग, तो उन्हीं के रिसर्चों की बात कर करके हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. तो आई थिंक इट्स गुड इफ यू कैन राइट, मे बी what you write can really help people, those who are in our sacred circle. So with this, let's end our today's satsang. So namaste. May you all be happy and blessed. Blessings to you all. We again meet on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.